AITA for not letting my daughter invite her stepdad to walk her down the aisle, especially since I'm paying for everything. I'm 56M, and my daughter, 25F, is getting married next spring. I've dreamed of her wedding day for years, picturing that classic father-daughter moment where I walk her down the aisle. She and I have always been close. We have a solid, genuine bond. That's why this is hitting me so hard. For a bit of backstory, her mom and I divorced when my daughter was about 12. It wasn't a bitter divorce. We both just fell out of love, and it felt right to split. But after we parted ways, my daughter mostly lived with me, so I was there for the big stuff. I've been there for every scraped knee, every school event, every late-night conversation. I'm the guy who saw her struggle with her first heartbreak, cheered at her graduation, helped her move in her first apartment, everything. Then 5 years ago, my ex remarried a guy. Now let's call him Dave, and Dave's personality is, well, a lot. Imagine a person who's loud, opinionated, and always needs to be the center of attention. He's the guy who makes jokes louder than everyone else, laughs longer, and somehow manages to shift the focus to himself at every family gathering. Think of your loud, life-of-the-party type, the person who can't just blend into the background if he tried. At first, I try to make an effort with him. I mean, he's my ex-wife's new husband, and it's important for my daughter that we get along, right? But even at family gatherings with my side, he's pulled stunts that were unnecessary. One time on my mother's birthday, he actually interrupted the toast I was giving to add his 2 cents and ended up making the whole thing about his own mom. I know I sound bitter, but I've had to swallow a lot of irritation for the sake of keeping the peace. Flash forward to the wedding planning. My daughter and I were talking, going over the details of the ceremony, the dress, the venue, all the good stuff. And then, out of nowhere, she tells me she'd like her stepdad to walk her halfway down the aisle. It felt like a punch to the gut. This is something I've looked forward to, something I always thought would just be between the two of us. That moment was mine, right? It's a father-daughter tradition, and I've been there for her whole life. Every big moment. Her stepdad has been around for only 5 years. I'd say I was stunned, but it was more than that. I was hurt, deeply. I tried to stay calm and told her how I felt. I shared that it would mean the world to me to walk her down the aisle on my own, just as like I always pictured. I told her how much I value our relationship, how I've been there through everything, and that this would be an irreplaceable moment for me. I also explained that this wasn't about excluding her stepdad. I get that he's part of her life. But I thought maybe this one thing could just be between her and me. It wasn't like I was asking to change the wedding to suit me. I was just hoping for that one moment. But she got defensive. She said it wasn't just about me. It was about how she felt and how she wanted to honor her stepdad too. She said he'd been supportive, that he's made her laugh during tough times, and that she wanted him to be part of this moment. I mean, supportive? Laughing during tough times? Was that really on the same level as, say, staying up until 3 a.m. to help with school projects? Or paying for her college tuition, which, by the way, Dave had no hand in? It all felt like I was being shoved to the side. I couldn't help but think, am I just some placeholder in my own daughter's life? The frustration kept building, and at that moment, I might have let my anger get the better of me. I said that if she wanted him to have a part in this, she should maybe ask if he wants to split the wedding costs too. That's when things blew up. She told me that it's not about the money and that I was making everything about myself. My ex-wife joined in, siding with her. She actually accused me of being selfish, of prioritizing my ego over my daughter's wishes. She said that her new husband has always respected my place in my daughter's life, and that by refusing this, I was being unfair. Apparently, Dave didn't even ask for this and felt like it would mean a lot to my daughter. The more I thought about it, the more I started wondering where this request even came from. Turns out, it wasn't something my daughter originally thought up on her own. My ex-wife and Dave had suggested it to her, saying it would be a nice way to honor the family. So now I'm in a situation where the tradition I've looked forward to for years is being turned into some shared moment with a man I can barely tolerate. It hurts, and it feels almost manipulative, like my ex-wife is rewriting history or pushing this narrative of one big happy family that frankly doesn't feel true to me. I've already put down so much for this wedding. I've spent years saving, making sure my daughter can have her dream day without stressing over money. Part of me wonders if they're taking advantage of that. But then another part of me wonders if they're right. Maybe I'm being selfish here. Maybe I'm just looking at this wrong. Yet, it's hard not to feel like they're disregarding my feelings, and it's supposed to be my moment with my daughter. I just don't know. So here I am, turning to strangers on the internet because I genuinely don't know anymore. Is it fair to expect that if I'm paying for the entire wedding, I should at least get the honor of walking her down the aisle? Am I letting my resentment toward my ex and her husband cloud my judgment here? Or do I have a right to feel hurt by this request? Thanks for reading Reddit. I'm open to any advice or perspective on whether I'm out of line or not. I'm not proud of my reaction, but I feel like I've been backed into a corner on this one. AITA?